Hello everyone, Nick the GM here, and look what we've finally returned to. After a number of years, I am talking about the Modrons again. The recently released Planescape Adventures in the Multiverse brought back my favorite constructs in Morte's Planar Parade. So, as the self-proclaimed world's foremost Modron expert, I thought it'd be necessary for me to cover the new 5th edition Hierarch Modrons. So, let's take a look. Morte's Planar Parade didn't bring back all of the Hierarch Modrons, which makes sense considering the limited space in the book, but it reintroduced the lowest 5 ranks: Deatons, Nonons, Octons, Septons, and Hexons. In this video, I'm only going to cover what is new. All other lore is in my other videos on the Modrons when I did March of the Modrons. I'll put a card in this video and a link in the description for that playlist if you're unfamiliar with it. Before I note what's up with each Modron individually, let's take a look at what they all possess. First of all, these 5 Hierarch Modrons are all the exact same challenge rating they were in 3.5e, which I greatly appreciate considering the number of creatures that have drastically changed in difficulty from other editions. All Hierarchs have true sight out to 120 feet. They speak Modron, except for the Septon and Hexon, which speak all languages, and have telepathy out to a range of 120 feet, which is slightly disappointing considering the massive scale the telepathy covered in 3.5e, but that doesn't matter too much here. Like the base Modrons, Hierarchs have axiomatic mind, meaning they cannot be compelled to act in a manner contrary to their nature or instructions, and disintegration, which makes it so that if one dies, it disintegrates into dust, leaving behind anything it was carrying. Their one ability which the base Modrons do not have is Battle Ready, giving them advantage on initiative rolls. Also, all Hierarchs have the same spellcasting, with one minor difference, just with differing spell save difficulty classes. At will, the Hierarch Modrons can cast Detect Magic, Dispel Magic, and Mending, which the Modrons can use as an action rather than taking 1 minute like usual. And once per day each, they can cast Plane Shift, Self Only, and Protection from Good and Evil. The Hierarch Modrons also have similar ability scores to what I converted in my earlier videos, give or take a few points here or there, which means the design team kept them similar to the 3.5e versions of the Hierarch Modrons in that regard, with a few minor tweaks to account for the 5th edition balance, mainly in regards to their strength, so they're not completely outclassed. Now to look at the individual Hierarch Modrons themselves. Firstly, the Deaton. Deatons are the least of the Hierarchs, and are CR 8. They monitor the physical well-being of base Modrons. Their main spherical bodies are supported by 2 stubby legs with, in my opinion, just disturbingly human feet, and 10 mechanical tentacles which sprout from their rounded frames in all directions. Their heads contain 10 eyes to readily observe the operations of surrounding base Modrons. They are classified as large creatures. In emergencies, a Deaton can discharge a bolt of electricity from each of its 10 eyes, synchronizing them to deadly effect. Their tentacles can grapple medium or smaller creatures that they hit, 1 creature in each tentacle, though they can only attack with 3 per turn. They are immune to being charmed or frightened, which I assume the axiomatic mind had already covered, but some of the Hierarchs don't have the same immunities, so we'll just list it here. They can also walk and fly with the ability to hover with their fly speed. Nonons. Nonons are the Hierarchs charged with bringing rogue Modrons, those that act against the will of Primus, into line. These inspectors also interrogate captured trespassers of Mechanus. Likely they will also be the ones greeting those invited to Mechanus. They maintain the rule of law within their realm. To help with this, the Nonons have a new ability, Pillar of Truth, a cylinder of magical force that damages any creature in the area and forces it into its original form if it has taken a different form, and the creature cannot take another form until the end of their next turn. This, combined with its true sight, makes it the perfect being to detect false appearances. Nonotons are large creatures. They have worm-like bodies studded with 9 mechanical arms and are challenge rating 10. They can walk and fly as well as hover. Auctons. Auctons are the next ranking of Hierarch. They are challenge rating 11. These Modrons are at the head of Mechanus' sectors and oversee daily governance. They provide data to other hierarchs, such as productivity reports to Septons and diagnostic data to Deatons. Auctons have a slightly different appearance to earlier editions, which honestly seems to be a constant for the Auctons. When editions change, they have always looked different. Auctons are octopi-like constructs of large size category. They have 8 mechanical tentacles, which they use to manipulate objects, multitasking with breathtaking efficiency, and defend themselves, spinning in a bludgeoning whirlwind. They also have resistance to psychic damage. Septons. Septons are auditors of base Modrons in Mechanus, kind of like the project managers of the plane, recording the activities in each of the plane's sectors to ensure operations are in perfect order. The Septon's primary function is to monitor the base Modrons in their sectors and evaluate whether or not they are doing a good job. They are easily identified by their 7 flexible upper limbs. They are bipedal with 2 arms, one that sprouts 4 mechanical tendrils, and the other only having 3, for their total of 7. They are large creatures, are challenge rating 12, and can walk, fly with hover, and swim. They have resistance to lightning damage and psychic damage, and, like the Decaton, they can discharge lightning, which deals slightly less damage than their subordinate Modron, but can stun their targets. Septons get 1 additional spell added to their spellcasting. These Hierarchs can cast Sending once per day, which I guess somewhat makes up for the reduced telepathy of the Modrons. And finally, the highest ranking of the reintroduced Modrons are the Hexons. Hexons are the field generals that command the Modron troops. They lead groups of Modrons in missions outside of Mechanus, the most notable of these being the Great Modron March. Now categorized as huge creatures, Hexons have solid frames that support 6 shining phalanges. They have a pair of arms ending in powerful pincers that can incapacitate targets, and 6 tentacles which can each be used to grab foes. Hexons have resistance to lightning and psychic damage, and they have immunity to the charmed and frightened conditions. And these Hierarchs also have legendary resistances. Since these are only rank 6 in the Modron hierarchy, you'd expect them to gradually gain such a powerful ability. But no. Hexons have 4 legendary resistances per day. Beyond that, their even scarier ability is their reactions, and I just have to say I am loving how much the Dungeons & Dragons team is doing with reactions for creatures recently. Hexons can take up to 3 reactions per round, but only once per turn, and using these, they can use their 2 special reactions in addition to the normal reactions that anyone gets. Counter magic. Like Counterspell, this is used to interrupt a creature that the Hexon can see casting a spell, automatically countering a spell of 3rd level or lower. If the spell is 4th level or higher, the Hexon must make an intelligence check of a DC equal to 10 plus the spell's level, the same as Counterspell. Then there is Lightning Rebuke, which a Hexon uses to retaliate against a creature within 120 feet of it that has damaged the Hexon. It shoots an arc of lightning, which deals lightning damage, though the target can make a dexterity saving throw, taking half damage on a success. And those are the new Modrons. Visually, they've changed from strange semi-organic, semi-mechanical beings to more mechanical. Sure, the Decaton and Nonoton still have those big lips and the Decaton's strange feet, but the higher-ranking Hierarchs appear more mechanical than earlier editions. Statistically, they've gotten a new ability here or there, but they still have the same challenge rating and are fairly streamlined for most of their abilities, especially comparative to their lore. Speaking of, lore-wise, they've changed significantly in terms of their roles in the Modron society, which for the most part makes it simpler than before, but some similarities are still there, just to keep that same feel of what each Hierarch did. If you're looking for more Modron lore, especially those Hierarch Modrons not covered in Morte's Planar Parade, check out my playlist, which will either have an end card or you can just find the playlist on my channel. I try to keep it nice and organized so it's easy to find. Anyways, if you've enjoyed, please consider leaving a like on this video or subscribe to help the channel grow. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!